Welcome to WTF is Web3, where we untangle the uncertainties of Web3 technologies. Be sure to check out the show notes for more information, giveaways, and ways to stay in touch. You're also going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and our private group so you don't miss out on exclusive content, freebies, and much more. If this episode seems like it was stripped out of a longer conversation, that's because it was. This is what we call a shallow dip, because it's basically the opposite of a deep dive, where we're going to give you a brief explanation of a concept, a term, or a topic that we just felt you would dig without having to listen to an entire episode. However, if you do want to listen to the entire episode, I invite you to check out the show notes, because that will get you to that longer episode and you can hear everything in context of the original conversation. Now that we've got that explanation out of the way, let's jump into the episode.
Chris Dixon, who, really cool guy, he's at Andreessen Horowitz. I heard this phrase first from him, but I'm sure it's like everywhere, skewmorphic. And what it means is you're essentially taking something that you already know and you're using a new technology. And there's so many different ways you can use it, but you can only do the thing you already know on that new technology. So like a digital photo and NFTs are kind of skewmorphic because it's something you already know. Like, all right, here's art. Let's use this new technology for it. Like another example is, I think the simplest way to make that word make sense is on an iPhone, you have the calculator. Well, the calculator is set up the way like old traditional calculators are set up. They don't have to be. It may not even be the most intuitive way to do it, but it's just the way we know to do it. And so, skewmorphic. I think...
How is that spelled? Is that spelled like SKU, like SKU, like in retail where you're registering items in a SKU for inventory? Or is it like SKU like to obfuscate or...
SKEU.
Okay.
O.
So the latter.
SKEUO. That's how you spell skew. And this is a perfect segue because I think this is something we'll probably be doing a lot of, is coming up with some of the terms that we've discovered or we've heard or other people have heard, kind of defining them, putting a little context behind them. These are terms of art. Law, there's this thing called terms of art for these like words that you think you know, but you have no idea. It took me a while to realize that some of the words I thought I knew were being used in a completely different way. And so I think that's something that we will really focus on bringing up, what some of these words are, what some of these words mean, and trying to simplify them a little bit. A lot of these things, NFTs, DAOs, cryptocurrencies, they are facing this curse of skewmorphism. They're facing this curse of people applying pre-existing models to them. DeFi especially, like, a bank doesn't have to look like a bank. There could be better ways to transact, but we in our mind can only think of things a certain way. Back in the day when you thought of self-driving cars, they literally put robots in a steering wheel in the driver's seat, and that was a self-driving car. Like it's how we knew cars drove, but there's obviously better ways. And so a lot of these first iterations are coming up the way they are because it's the only way we can think to apply it. But there's tons of really cool uses for it. And kind of like Casey and I were just saying, we're going to probably think of some of them. And there's going to be so many cool ones. And some of them are going to be business ideas. Some of them are probably really crappy business ideas. But they're really cool to think about. And that's probably going to be some of the fun points that we're relying on this podcast helping us do, just brainstorm.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for this shallow dip. But if you want more information and more conversation, I invite you to check out the episode notes and our channel, because not only can you listen to the entire conversation from which this clip was stripped, but there's also going to be more episodes that do a deeper dive on this specific topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to make sure you don't forget to check out the information and the links in the show notes. Some of that stuff is going to get you into freebies and raffles and contests and all sorts of other promotions. But also, we've got a private group dedicated to our listeners and our followers. We would love to see you there, love to see you collaborate, join, and get exclusive content that we are only distributing through these other means. Speaking of distributing through other means, I want to make sure that you're also subscribed to our podcast, our YouTube channel, and again, join that private group so you know everything that we know as soon as we know it.